We should withdraw all American troops from every spot on earth that is not American soil, except when and where such troops may be required, as decided by Congress, to protect American lives and property from criminal vandalism. 5, we should get government out of the areas and functions and activities where government does not belong. Again, all steps to this end should be taken gradually, but nevertheless just as rapidly as enough of the American people can be persuaded to support such progress. Any such achievement will require a truly massive educational force, but that's exactly what we hope to build during the next 15 years. We could go ahead for at least 100 numbered items, but the John Birch Society will undoubtedly be working on more than that many specific projects, which will be laid out in its bulletins before another 180 months will have rolled around. And all of these projects will fit into the general pattern indicated by the 5 major objectives listed above. So let's really wind up this marathon monologue with one final thought. None of us can guarantee anything about what the future will bring. Your speaker knows what a job we have before us to rid our country of the scourge of communism within the next few years, and then to go ahead on our constructive program so well that 15 years from now we shall already be entering an era of far less government, of a much sounder sense of responsibility, and, with God's help, of a better world. But I sincerely believe that it can be done, and this much I know, that every man and woman in this audience should leave here tonight feeling in his or her own mind and heart that it can and must be done, then it surely will be. And so, all of you patriots of good character, good conscience, and noble ideals, whom we can reach with the filmed version of this speech in 1,000 other audiences, it is with a great deal of confidence and energizing will to win that we invite you to join us in our epic undertaking. While to all of you great, wonderful friends in this present audience, I certainly extend my very deep thanks indeed for so much patience and attention. Thank you indeed.
Robert Welch, over 50 years ago. And, gentlemen, we had our little distractions, didn't we? We had to fire up the Vietnam War. That was a great distraction. And then we did something else. We took the public to the candy shop and told them that you can load up. You don't have enough money. Don't worry. We've got a new invention. It's called a credit card. You can buy now and pay later and later and later. Gentlemen, some of the stuff that was mentioned in that speech, and some of that, the bulk of that speech was made back in the late 50s. But here we have it. In the United Nations, we have the tendrils. We have the treaties now. World Health Organizations. We are entrenched now with world courts, so much so that the United States Supreme Court is now paying closer attention to international law. And as I said in last hour, at the acceptance from the World Federalist, Walter Cronkite, saying that this can be accomplished through trade, treaty, commerce, and, of course, through the State Department and foreign policy as well. So, old school, Mr. Chapman, old school, but the guy nailed it.
Right, he sure did. And the effect during the late 1960s and into the early 1970s was very powerful by the John Birch Society. They paved the way for what we're talking about today. They were the ones who gave up the most and accomplished the most as well, but it didn't seem like that to them at the time. It was a hard slow, and we didn't have internet. We didn't have the radio access we have today. And with those kinds of thoughts in use today and being disseminated, we're beating the Illuminists to death.
You know, what I said about introducing the credit card, and again, I'll mention this because I'm trying to beat this into people's heads so they really understand what the game plan here is. It's endless debt. You heard Mr. Welch say that, well, to keep jacking up the amount of money that's borrowed. Right now, 50% of the labor unions are now, guess what, government. So they give us the promise that, well, prosperity is here, but don't worry, we're in a financial jam right now. But don't worry, folks, we're going to tidy up our books and we're going to set everything straight, and we're going to give you more of already what you can't afford anymore, and that's more credit. The devalued dollar, it's gone. The dollar is dead. So they have accomplished their goals quite nicely, all of which to put the United States, good old US of A, asunder so we can get on with this globalist project. The shining star can't be allowed to shine no more. We'll be right back. By the way, stock market up. Everybody's feeling real good. Well, a total of 360,149 properties received a default or auction notice or were seized last month, according to data seller Realty Track, Inc. 1 in 355 households got a filing, the highest monthly rate in Realty Track records dating to January of 2005. Let's go to the phones. Steve in Ohio. Hello, Steve.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. And first of all, I want to say we've got some excitement in the skies over northern Ohio. We've got some military aircraft flying, John, faster than I've ever seen military aircraft fly before, using some type of light underneath them, flying faster than the speed of sound, and no sonic boom.
Really?
Yeah, and it's been on WTAM 1100. They've been talking about it. I've seen these aircraft. I saw them this afternoon. John, they are the fastest thing I've ever seen. I've never seen it go this fast before, and I'm a big fan of military aircraft. I've seen them fly faster than the speed of sound. I've experienced the sonic booms, and these things are flying far, far faster than anything I've ever seen.
Has anybody got any footage of these things?
There's some people that have photographs. They've been taking them. It's going to be on the WTAM website. You might want to check into that and check it out. But there's all kinds of strange stuff going on in the skies up here. I mean, these things are just buzzing around like crazy.
Where in northern Ohio are you?
Right around the Cleveland area. It's been happening between Toledo and Cleveland, over Sandusky, your old hometown, and all over the whole area here.
WTAM, what is that, television?
No, it's radio 1100.
Okay, out of where?
AM.
Out of where?
Out of Cleveland.
Okay, all right. We'll try to check it out.
Yeah. Now, I'm just curious. You know, I see Senator Grassley mentioning hyperinflation. I hear Peter Schiff talking about it quite often. Bob and you guys talk about it quite often. Let me put forth this scenario. Is it possible that with the use of computers today, like they've never had in the past, where they've expanded the money supply and then all of a sudden inflation took hold and then pretty soon hyperinflation, because they're able to track the money so much better today, is it possible that all of the trillions of dollars that have been created for the bailouts and for all the foreign bankers and everything else, is it possible that the technology has allowed these bankers to keep hyperinflation in bay, because in effect what it's done is it's given them money on the books, but in reality it's not in circulation, so henceforth inflation can't take hold. Is that possible?
It's a concept that I've never thought of. So I can't answer the question. And I would have to be able to get into what they're doing, if they're doing something along those lines. And I've heard nothing of it, but that doesn't mean it's not happening. I just can't answer the question.
What about obviously the story that I have on the website from yesterday that the U.S. is talking with North Korea about the super notes that allegedly North Korea is producing. These are $100 bills that even the Secret Service has a hard time figuring out if they counterfeit. Well, they all counterfeit, but the counterfeit.
Whether they are or they aren't.
Yeah. So, I mean, if this, Bob, I mean, this story's been around for many years about the super notes and North Korea. You know, I mean, if we go back through history, even going back to Lincoln,